My thoughts on the black community not being able to work together. I feel like everybody wants to be the boss. Everybody wants to be quote unquote the guy. And I feel like once we learn that everybody can't be the guy all the time, shit will start going a little bit better. I feel like the black community, we struggle to work together because of our pride. Most importantly, everybody is real pride and ego driven. Everybody, like I said, wants to be the top guy, but sometimes it's just about just being on a good team, contributing to something. Because at the end of the day, you can't do anything yourself. Another problem that I see in the black community is like everybody has to prove that they can do it on their own. You know, you have a good group of guys working together, and then one of them wants to branch off and do their own thing, which is not an issue. But I feel as though it takes longer when you're trying to do it by yourself. Because you could be working with a group of guys, you branch off and do it on your own, quote unquote. When you're doing it on your own and you're still working, technically you're really just an employee for yourself. So it's like, I feel like greater things can be achieved when multiple minds are working on one project together. So that's one thing that I see that's a problem in the black community. I feel like you have to, if you to get everyone to buy into the same common goal, you have to kind of, if you're the head of the team or the leader, you have to see what does each individual person want to accomplish, why they're there, or what do they want for their self. And I feel like if you can help each individual person achieve what they want for their self, it's not like, okay, we're just working for you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta kind of find a way where they can get to where they want. They can get to where they want to go for their self, and I feel like it will make things better. But I also feel as though, like, if you have the right situation, you have people that truly believe in whatever you guys are doing, it wouldn't be that hard to buy into one thing. But they also got to be down for problems. Things are going to occur, things are going to happen, shit is not going to be perfect every day. So it's like, also, are they going to be prepared to be battle tested and not quit when shit gets rough? So it's a lot that goes into that, to be honest. The advice that I would give to any young nigga who just made their first 100K is to act broke. Don't go out there and start buying shit. Don't go out there and start living like you're making 100K every week. Because I think that's the problem also with the generation. We get money. We'll make a lot of money fast, and we'll start living a certain way like we've been making this money for years. And all reality, even though I just learned this too, Patrick Bet David, I just learned this. He said, say if you have $100,000 a week or $100,000 a month, you're really supposed to divide that money as in like you made $8,300 per month for the year, instead of looking at it like this whole 100K is mine type shit. You gotta look at it like the business brought in $8,300 per month for that whole year, even though you did just make it at one time. So I feel like you gotta learn how to live frugal. You have to master cash flow before you start spending money. And that's something that I learned. Like, before you just start buying new whips, buying jewelry, clothes and shit, you wanna prove to yourself, alright, I just made this 100K. Let me prove to myself that I can make it again and again and again. And also, how long is it taking you to make that 100K? Because you can make 100K and then 2 months after that, you only made 10,000 for the next two months. But you start spending like you're making 100K every single month. So now you done fucked the money up. So that's my advice to young niggas. Like, when you start touching $2 dollars, just invest it wisely. save it, learn how to master cash flow. Cash flow is, can I make this 100K again and again and again and again? Prove to yourself that you can make it for 5 months straight before you just start living crazy, you know? So that's my advice. The advice that I would give to somebody that's lacking confidence, the first question I would ask them is, what do they do on their daily basis? Like, what's the first thing they do when they wake up? What's their routine throughout their day? Because I'm a firm believer in, I feel as though confidence comes from what you do on a daily basis as far as your preparation. Like, I mean, this is just my definition of confidence. You know, this is just what I think. I feel as though it comes from what you do on your daily basis. Like me, I get my confidence from knowing every day, for the most part, I'm going 100%. I'm giving it my all. I'm hitting my goals as far as I'm working out. I'm investing into my mind, the things that I'm putting in my brain, the things that I'm learning. I'm putting in the work day in and day out. So if I know that I'm putting in the work, it's not going to be that hard for me to be confident. Some people have just a God-given thing where they're just confident, like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter type shit. Mm-hmm. My confidence comes from the work that I put in. So I believe if you put in the work to your craft, whatever you're learning, whether you're an artist, you in the studio, you making songs every day. If you play basketball, you're in the gym every day. You know, if you're a designer, you're designing every day. I feel like the work that you put in on a daily basis will help you get confidence. It's very important to be smart with your money because, like I said, you just never know when crisis can hit. Crisis can hit and money is not coming in. So if money is not coming in, you have to have some type of safety net, a savings put up so that if crisis or tough times hit, for example, if a business is struggling for the past 3-4 months, they run out of money for the business, but the owner of the business has a savings put up. He can go and touch money out of his savings to keep the business afloat for the next 3 or 4 months until things pick back up. So that's why it's important to have a safety net at all times. And even if you're just not in business, anything can happen where you just have to have some type of money saved and put to the side just in case you run into a crisis. Ways that I save is, for the most part, I try to figure out my monthly expenses. How much money am I going to need every month to live and pay my bills? After that money is made, for the most part, I'm either putting that money up or I'm investing it into myself. You know, that's how I save my money. You know, but I feel like in order to save money, you have to know how much money is going out on a monthly basis. How much money am I going to need that's going to have to go out every single month for me to live and survive on this earth? Once you figure that out, you have to figure out, how much money am I bringing in? It's easy when you have a job because you're making pretty much the same thing every 2 weeks or every week, however often you get paid. So once you figure out, this is how much money I'm bringing in on a monthly basis. This is my expenses are $1,500 a month. My rent is $1,500 a month. I need $500 a month for food. That's $2,000 that's going out your pocket every month to live and survive on this earth. If you're making, let's just say you're only making $5,000 a month, that means $3,000 is left for you to either save. You might want to either invest some of that into yourself, or you can split it up. $1,500 will be invested into myself, $1,500 will go into my savings. So it's just all about understanding your numbers and understanding what's coming in and what's going out on a day-to-day basis to figure out how you have to save and what's best for your situation, because everybody's situation is different. See, I haven't got to the point where I'm doing just set percentage of what you should put to the side, but that is a good idea or suggestion. You put away 10 to 30% out of your check. That's a good amount of money to save. So I feel like it's just based off of what you want to save, bro. Like me personally, like I'm saving the profit. You know, my dad told me to do everything out of profit. Like everything has to be done out of profit. Like so, say okay, say if I got 20 bands, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a clothing line. I got 20 bands. My bulk shipment is coming, and the order is 15,000. It's going to cost 15,000 for me to get these clothes made. Off of this 15,000, I am going to make 45,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That 15,000 has to go back for you to do it again. The profit out of that is what you're going to use to either save or invest into yourself. So basically, like I said, I do everything out of profit. Everything has to be done out of profit. That 15,000 can never be fucked with or touched because that's how you're going to be able to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
It's like a re-up.
That's your re-up. I wanted to say that, but I didn't say it. But yeah, that's your re-up. You can't fuck your re-up up. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just like, guys, if you hustling, like you can't fuck your re-up up. Your re-up 15,000, that 15,000 cannot be fucked with or touched. That's your safety net. That's what you're gonna use every time to make that 45,000 every single time. So you cannot touch your re-up money. So that's how I was taught. You see what I'm saying? So everything comes out of profit. Out of that 45,000 I make, once that 15 goes back to be able to do it again, whatever I have left over, the bills get paid, I can save out of that, I can do whatever I want out of that. That's profit. As long as everything comes out of profit, you can never lose because you always got your re-up money to go back and make the 45,000 again.
That makes sense.
So that's how I do it. I feel like it's important to be a continuous learner and always getting better because if you're not, you're gonna hit a what's the word that I want to use? You're gonna hit a ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
With basically, you know, like some people they don't get past a certain level.
Yeah, or a
like
plateau.
Or a plateau. Like they just, it's like they didn't improve over the years type shit. Like they just stayed at that same level forever. You know, I feel like people that only happens to people who doesn't continue to evolve. You know, when I say evolve, as far as continue to learn different things. If you're in business, how can I take this to the next level? Like, what's the next big thing? You know, and that's not an easy thing to figure out all the time. Like, clothes is my thing right now, you know? Yeah. But 10, 15 years from now, is clothes still gonna be my thing? If I don't figure that out, I can hit a plateau. I can hit a peak, you know, where I just don't go over a certain level if I don't evolve my mind. Over those 10 to 15 years, I should have been figured out, okay, say if I made millions of dollars between those 10 to 15 years, I should have, the whole time, while time is going, I should be figuring out my next move. My next move can be starting a fucking screen print school where kids that were getting in trouble from the inner city, they're coming to a big fucking facility, staying there for fucking months, but all they're doing every day is learning how to screen print, learning about business. You know, just what's next, you know? So I feel like that's important to just always continue to figure out as you're going and as you're progressing, always just in the back of your mind, what's next? You know, what's the next big thing that I can do as far as bigger than what I'm doing now? So I feel like if you're not learning, if you don't have a mentor that you can learn from, if you don't have people around you that you can learn from, you will eventually just
hit that ceiling. Yeah, that's real. I'm about to change my SD card real quick.
The sacrifices that I had to make to get to where I am today, I had to separate myself from a lot of things. No partying, cutting off certain people around me. Just understanding exactly what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to go in life. I feel like that's important when you're trying to figure out how to get to the next level, knowing what to stop doing, what's around you, what you're going to need to get there. I feel like since I was 18, I made a decision of where I wanted to go, and I just cut a lot of bullshit out of my life, you know. I cut a lot of shit out that I was doing wrong. I stopped smoking. I stopped, doing young, dumb shit. You know, I started to read more and just evolve my mindset and the way I behave, and my character changed a lot. So I feel like when you're trying to evolve, you just gotta get rid of the bullshit out of your life. You gotta detox everything and just dial in on you. Like, I spend a lot of time with myself. I don't really have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of people around me. I don't hang with big entourages or anything. So I feel like that's a big part of staying focused. You know, not really knowing when to distance yourself from the wrong things. You just see the flaw through people. You see flaws through either individuals that you're around. You see shit that you just don't want to be around. So that's how I quickly know how to remove myself from things. I just see things that maybe I don't agree with. Might see, hey, this guy's hanging with this person I don't really agree with. The people they hang with, I distance myself. If they're not doing like-minded things that I'm doing, or they're just not doing shit that I agree with, I distance myself from those type of people. That's a good question, bro, because I remember just feeling like a couple years ago, just feeling like, damn, like, I feel alone, like I don't really got no friends, or like people to hang out and shit with no more. Like, it could be a moment in life where you kind of like, damn, you feel a little upset about it, but at the same time, like, when you look at and hear success stories from other people, bro, they tell you like most people go through that on their way to success. Like, you're gonna go through that phase in life where you just feeling like lonely or feeling like alone. But sometimes you gotta be alone to get to where you wanna go. You know, it's really just a part of like that growth process of growing. And I feel like once I understood that, it just dialed in and like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. Like sometimes when you focus up, bro, like it takes distance. And I feel like a lot of people that was in my life at one point in time, when I started to become extremely focused, they kind of took it in a way as I'm switching up. But for real, I'm not really switching up. I'm really just not on no bullshit. Like, I'm trying to evolve. I'm trying to get better. Like, I don't want to be the same person I was 2 years ago today. Like, I'm just trying to learn and evolve and get better. And then some people are going to look at it as like, damn, he's switching up. He's going Hollywood. But at the same time, like, why would I want to stay the same, bro? Why would I want to be on the same shit, talking about the same thing, just doing the same shit every weekend? Like, just the shit gets old after a while, you know? So, yeah. But I feel like I realized that shit earlier in the game type shit, like early. I realized that shit early, and I feel like that plays a part of where I'm at today, because I was able to cut out a lot of distractions, bro. I was. Yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, definitely faced a lot of adversity on my journey. I definitely could have quit, like, so many times with just the type of hurdles and shit that I faced. But I feel like that's what you're just going to face on the way to success, bro. You're going to go through a lot of trials and tribulations to see if you made for this shit, are you built for it? You know, God is not just gonna just give it to you. You know, he's gonna test you over and over again to see if you can hop through certain hurdles and keep going. But only the strong survive, bro, in the business world and life in general. You know, only the strong survive. Like, it's so easy to quit, and it's so easy to quit, and it's so hard to keep going. But time is going to go anyway, so you might as well just keep going. My number one book, bro. I'll say this my number one book just because this is the first book I ever really read. This is the first book that got me into reading. Like I said, No Excuses by Brian Tracy. That's a great book. That was the kickstart of my career in business. That's the book that changed my mindset forever. That was the first book I read. I will always suggest that book out of a lot of books. The second book, this is on a lot of people's list. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah. Definitely a great book. It's going to teach you about the rich mindset and the poor mindset. You can learn a lot from that book. Third book would be Atomic Habits. Was a good book. Atomic Habits. The Science of Getting Rich. That's another great book. Just going to teach you how you should do everything a certain way. When you're trying to build success, it's really just about doing everything in a certain way. That's a good book. And that's about it for right now.
Have you ever read Profit First by Mike?
Yeah.
Or some shit like that?
Yeah, that's a good book, bro. I read that book like twice. I got the audio book, bro. That book made me set up all my accounts. I set up all my accounts the way he said do it. The income account, the tax account, owner's compensation account.
Yeah, the tax account, the one I need.
I did everything that he said do. Mentors are very important because mentors can help you avoid certain problems that you maybe don't have to go through or face. In the business world, I feel like if you have a mentor that already been through certain hurdles and certain problems in the business, you can easily go to them and ask them certain questions that you maybe can avoid in your journey. So I feel like having a mentor is definitely one of the easiest ways to become successful, and I feel like it's not really utilized a lot. It's really not utilized a lot. I feel like whatever you're doing right now is already like thousands of people that really probably already accomplished exactly what you're doing. So if you could just go to a person that is doing the same thing as you and get advice from, it'll make your journey a lot easier. A lot of people always tell me this when I talk about this though, but people don't want to give out game, or how do you find one and shit like this. You can find one. Out of 100,000 of people on this earth, even if half of those people say no, it's going to be one person that maybe take a liking into you, or just they don't care about giving you advice just because they care about seeing other people win. Everybody is not going to be genuine, but one answer, no, doesn't stop you. Don't let no stop you. Just keep asking as much as you can, and eventually you'll find a mentor. Even with me, like, I need more mentors. I need more people that I can learn from, because it'll probably save me a lot of time. What skills have been most beneficial to me, bro? And I want to kind of answer this question direct without going too far around it. I feel like I learned to play with my strengths. So a skill that's been most beneficial to me is my work ethic. I can outwork anybody. I can out-hustle anybody. So I learned how to use that to my advantage. But also, it's not just about hard work, because you could be working hard and not getting anywhere. You still want to work smart. But I learned how to use my strong work ethic to get me far in business and in life. So that's just a skill that I use to my advantage in the business world. So I work with people.
I think
feel like how I become more strategic in my work. We was talking about this a little bit the other day, man. We was on the phone just planning everything in advance.
Yeah.
I feel like when you plan everything in advance, you get the execution of it always comes out better instead of like planning things last minute. I'm not gonna lie, I did a lot of great things by planning it last minute,
man,
or like doing it the same day. So I'm
you
not
got
saying,
used to it. You was like, oh yeah, I do it.
I'm not saying like you can't have some crazy ideas or have a great outcome by doing something spontaneously, but I feel like as you get wiser in business, you want to plan everything in advance because it end up just going a little bit smoother. But you also got to understand that everything is not going to go as planned. It's like a 70 to 80% chance that it's not going to go as planned, but knowing how to still work through the hurdles when it doesn't go as planned. But I feel like when you I have a quote that I live by. Proper planning prevents poor performance. You know, so if you plan right, it will prevent poor performance. Communication.
Full service.
Yeah, communication, especially like just being young and coming into this game of entrepreneurship. You know, I'm only 25, so coming into it I came into it at 16, 17, but actually like having a team of employees and stuff, 20, 21. That learning curve of what I truly learned as far as communication, that was a big learning curve for me. I learned a lot about communication because when you're working with people and you have a team of people, bro, you have to learn how to communicate. If you don't communicate, your business can be ran poorly from the lack of communication. And I just learned that communication is a beautiful thing when used the correct way. You know, if you can communicate with people, it really prevents a lot of problems. It solves a lot of problems just by simply just communicating. So I realized that you have to take the time out to learn how to communicate with your team or just in life in general.